He fired the people who could fire him, and he did it legally. By the time the board realized what happened, the vote was already over. Tonight's story isn't about talent, it's about leverage. Because in boardrooms, power doesn't shout, it moves quietly. In documents, timing, and agreements, no one reads twice. The company looks strong from the outside. Big clients, press coverage, confident executives. But behind the scenes, it was bleeding. Cash flow was tightening, turnover was rising, and the stock price had started sliding. The board blamed the CEO. They said he was too slow, too cautious, too expensive. Privately, a few members began calling other candidates. And when that happens, there's a moment every CEO recognizes. The room gets colder, meetings get shorter, and suddenly, you stop being invited into conversations about your own company. The CEO didn't panic. He did something most leaders never do. He stopped reacting and started reading. Not headlines, not opinions, the rules. He went into the company bylaws, those dusty documents nobody opens unless something is on fire. And there it was, a clause tied to restructuring. A legal pathway that could change how voting power was counted under specific conditions. The condition? A reclassification of shares tied to a strategic reorganization. Translation: if he could prove the business needed restructuring, he could trigger a process that would temporarily reshape control. So he built a case, quietly. He gathered internal data showing the company was at risk. Cost overruns, delayed projects, shrinking margins. Then he made the second move, one that looks boring but wins wars. He secured alignment from the shareholders who actually mattered. Not everyone, just the ones who could swing a vote. He didn't pitch them on ego, he pitched them on survival. Here's the problem. Here's the plan. Here's what happens if the board keeps fighting me instead of fixing the business. And then he waited. 2 weeks later, the board called an emergency meeting. They were prepared to corner him. But the CEO arrived with something stronger than confidence. Paperwork, signed support, and timing. He presented the restructuring plan. He cited the clause. He initiated the process. And he called the vote. One board member laughed until they realized the shareholder support had already been locked. Another tried to delay until legal confirmed the procedure. And when the vote landed, the room went silent. Because the board didn't remove him, he removed them. Not out of revenge, out of alignment. The media spun it like a scandal. Competitors whispered that the CEO was unstable. Some former board members threatened lawsuits. But here's what changed. The company stopped fighting itself. Decisions got faster. Costs dropped. 2 divisions were cut. A new leadership team came in. And within months, the business stabilized. This is the part most people miss. The CEO didn't win because he was the loudest person in the room. He won because he knew the boardroom truth. If you don't understand the rules, you're playing someone else's game. If you want more real corporate power stories, subscribe. We post weekly. And comment quiet if you want part 2. The 3 moves the CEO made before the meeting that guaranteed the outcome. Because power doesn't announce itself. It moves quietly.